Hey, what's up guys? Chris Amos here. I wanted to talk about 16-inch wheels on the BRZ in this update video. This is the setup that I daily drive the car on, and there isn't a whole lot of information out there on BRZs with 16-inch wheel and tire setups, so I thought I'd make a little video explaining some of the pros and cons and basically why I enjoy this 16-inch wheel setup so much. So these are BBS RG362 wheels off of a JDM Subaru Legacy. They weigh around 12 or 13 pounds each. They're 16 by 6.5 forged, really lightweight. They bolt up perfectly. The offset and the hub diameter is just perfect for these cars because it's off of a Subaru. And then they're wrapped in Continental, the new DWS06 tires in 205, 55, 16s. And I really enjoy the setup because it doesn't have a ton of grip, but these tires are still really pretty responsive, and I think the wheels look pretty good on this car too. They're originally gold. I plasti dipped them silver, and that turned out pretty decently, so I'm probably just going to leave that the way it is. But of course, the biggest difference you get with this setup is that it's quite a bit lighter than the stock wheel and tire setup. The stock wheels weigh 20 pounds each. These are a good 8 pounds lighter, and the tires are about the same weight. So you're really saving 8 pounds per corner with this wheel and tire setup. The advantages are immediately you get much better acceleration, a little bit better braking, turn-in. The car feels just a little bit lighter and more nimble on its feet. It's basically, if you switched from, this is kind of an extreme example, but if you switched from winter boots to a pair of lightweight running shoes, and especially the fact that it's unsprung weight helps the fact of the matter too. So overall, I'm really happy with this as a daily driving setup. It's nice and quiet, it rides pretty well, and it's kind of just a little bit more fun to drive. Now, it doesn't have the outright grip and responsiveness as my 17-inch track setup on Falcon Azzinis, but it does make the car really pretty enjoyable. So let's go for a little drive. I'll show you guys what it's like. One change I have made recently to this car, the suspension is, for all practical purposes, is still pretty much stock. But I did take the Hawk Performance Street Race pads off. They were just making way too much noise, just too much squeal for my taste. So we're back on the stock pads now. You'll notice just with a lighter weight wheel and tire setup, just a little bit better acceleration. Handling is still really pretty balanced. There's a little bit more body roll because there's a higher sidewall. Do a 60 to 0. So still pretty decent braking performance. not bad. So again, we're on the Stage 1 91 Octane OpenFlash tablet, just off the shelf tune. I've been really happy with this tune. Over the winter, I ran it all year. I haven't really gone back to E85 because honestly, I'm enjoying this so much. And with these lighter weight wheels, it just makes it that much more lively. You can still kind of hang the ass end out. But these all-season tires actually offer quite a bit of grip. Suspension is completely stock. Probably the next step for this car is to get some higher quality dampers. I've never really been happy with the stock dampers. When it's cold out, they're way too over damped, they're way too stiff. And we were taking that turn at a pretty good speed back there, and the car was bouncing around way too much. So I'm thinking about going with some Bilstein HD struts and shocks. Those seem to be paired really well with the stock OEM springs, and probably some sway bars front and rear, or at least, if not rear, just front, just to reduce body roll just a little bit. I looked at some photos of this car while I was on track last year, and there is quite a bit of body roll, even though you don't necessarily feel it from the driver's seat. So it'd be nice to get rid of some of that and just get a higher quality damper that's gonna soak up the bumps and keep the contact patch a little bit better on the road. And maybe something I can get a little bit more camber out of too. Right now, this car does have camber bolts on it, so that's probably like a little over a degree of negative camber on the front, which does help. But this is still going to be mostly a daily driver, so I don't want to go too aggressive. So anyway, I think this is about pretty much all that has to be said about the lighter weight wheel setup. It is kind of what you'd expect. It does keep the car really pretty fun to drive though. You get a little bit more performance, a little bit more speed out of the lightweight wheel and tire setup, which is nice. And I think it looks pretty good. It doesn't look too small in the car. Tires are cheap. These wheels are super lightweight. They're kind of fun to throw on the car because they're so easy to lift up. And you can always find replacements on eBay because they're all over the place. There's also some other pretty nice looking 16-inch wheel and tire setups too. But for me, this seems to work really well. I like it. And then when I want to get something on that has a little bit higher performance, I throw on the 17-inch track wheels and tires. And those do a pretty good job around the racetrack. So anyway, let me know if you guys have any comments or any questions in the comments, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching. Talk to you later.